following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Bruh, the Vancouver Canucks are for real. That's just the truth. Quinn Hughes, is he the MVP of the league? I think so. 41 games into the season. It's late at the Don't Doze Art Lab. We got to talk about the West Coast bias. Your Vancouver Canucks. Let's do this.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. Trevor Beggs, not with us. It's 7:30. He's cooking dinner for his family. But that's not going to stop me from doing the most for you and 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 you. Why? Because your Vancouver Canucks are doing the most for us. So you know I'm working overtime for Locked On Canucks, for the Don't Doze Art Lab. Man, oh man. They did it. They did the most again. They swept New York. And they did so nicely. 3 of the best games they played all season happened on this trip. And I'll say it again, this team finds different ways to win all the time. For a long time, before this stretch of success, it was the third line doing the most. And now it was the lotto line. And now it's 3 goals from defensemen against a pretty good Islanders team and a pretty good goaltender. You know it's good when Tyler Myers does what he does tonight. That was something else. Again, Kyle Bowen, talking Canucks. Shout out to the commenters. Who do we have here? Elston. Elston, man. I'm naming my son or daughter Elston. Send Dakota Joshua to the All-Star Weekend. We'll talk more about Joshua in a couple of minutes. What a player. And somebody, I know this is maybe negative, maybe pessimistic, but somebody I don't think we're going to be able to re-sign. That dude deserves the most. A lot of word about the most. I'm feeling good. Again, back to those defensemen. Filip Hronek. What he's done over the last 2 games specifically has made me think more and more about what he was in October and November. And to see him playing this well against those teams around the halfway point of this season is not only excited for the immediate future, right? It feels as if he's on a bit of a heater again, but it goes to show that he is that guy. He is that guy. And this is a bold thing to say, but based on skill, Filip Hronek may be the second best Canucks defenseman of all time. I know that's crazy, but look at the points. Look at the importance. Look at the Canucks record. Before the season started, who was the biggest X factor going into the season? And not only the biggest question mark, but again, the biggest X factor. It was Filip Hronek. And look what he's done. Pressure cooker environment. Yeah, he played in Detroit, but Vancouver is completely different. New team, new setting, new conference. And look at what this guy is doing. Look at the point totals. And look how good Quinn Hughes is looking. Now, Quinn Hughes, he's that guy, right? He's been that guy from day one. You look at the family, the trio. Competitive nature. He's a gamer. He's a baller. He's the captain of your Vancouver Canucks, doing the most. But is he doing the most if it's not for Filip Hronek? I think that's a fair question. Why? Because Hronek, again, is that good. We talked about this a couple episodes ago, right? How much are we going to pay that guy? And some people out there, and I get it, right? Long-term vision. Vancouver Canucks first. Some people out there were kind of happy that this guy was quote-unquote struggling. Why? Because he would get paid less. Right? He didn't look like that $8 million defenseman in late November to the end of December. People, again, were a little content with that. Let's save a couple million. Let's save, $500,000, $1 million. This is not the worst thing. Look, if you're a Canucks fan, you want your players to excel to the highest level. That's just the truth. Don't try saving dollars with your players. You don't own the team. You don't got a stake. You don't get a kickback, okay? You don't get a royalty. Want the most. Get the most. And that's what we're getting with the Vancouver Canucks. Yo, what day is it today? Tuesday. I had to crack one. Had to do it. We feeling good. 41 games into the season. And again, Filip Hronek already doing it for me again. The second best Canucks defenseman of all time. Based on skill, based on what I've seen. I'm not talking about longevity. I'm not talking about the whole thing. I'm just talking about this one season. I guess I can make it make sense like this. Outside of all of the career Quinn Hughes seasons, outside of those seasons, I think Filip Hronek by the end of this season will have the other best year for a Canucks defenseman. You know what I'm saying? How about this comment? Keegan. Mind-blowing how much depth we have. It's hard to rip on any one player so far this year. Talk about the depth. You know, for days and days and days early on, we're talking about the superstars, right? Top echelon, best of the best. You look at what's happening with the All-Star game. Apparently, allegedly, there may be 5 Canucks at the All-Star game. I know a lot of that is fan voted, but when you look at the numbers and look at the facts, if they did it any other way with the voting, there's probably a good chance that, again, 5 Canucks would be All-Stars. Your team is an All-Star team. Hey, give it up to Jim Benning. I know. I got to do it, though. Give it up to Jim Benning. How could we be this content at Game 41? Look at reality and not think about Jim Benning. Now, you know, going back to Keegan, though, the depth, right? One thing that Jim Benning really struggled with was doing everything outside of, you know, drafting elite talent. His professional scouting was horrible. Now, Alvin and Rutherford, they're doing it. They're nailing it. Joshua, Bluger, Lafferty, Ian Cole, Carson Soucy. Carson Soucy, way better. Way better than I thought Carson Soucy was. Pius Suter, Mikheyev, doing their thing, man. The Vancouver Canucks, it's different. We said this early in the day, right? You know why it's different? Outside of all these career years, outside of all these superstars, just willing this team to something new, a change of culture. It's easier for that culture to change because, it's never been like this for your Vancouver Canucks. When has there been this much Stanley Cup pedigree within this organization? I'm not talking about the hopes. I'm not talking about the expectations. I'm talking about Rick Tocchet, Patrick Alvin, and Jim Rutherford. Have we ever had that much proof of concept, proof of excellence, proof that I got a championship in the building all at once? No. And look at the results, 41 games later. We got to give it out to Seri, man. Lefty commenting, I love Json as a hockey player, and so does Tocchet. Json, man, I thought he was one of the worst players in the NHL 4 weeks ago. I said it maybe 4 or 5 times. Fast forward to the now, though, he is, I'll say it again, doing the most. And a lot of credit does go to Rick Tocchet, that coaching staff, again, that culture, their development plan within the season, within their player group. But man, oh man, again, I'm from Surrey. The future lives there. I got to give it all to Noah Juulsen because he heard the noise. Think about it. He probably grew up a Canucks fan, okay? He knows what the Canucks lore, the Canucks fandom is all about. He probably heard the noise. This transition from, again, being one of the worst players in hockey or in the NHL to pushing Ian Cole out of the lineup, pushing Zadorov out of the lineup. I'm just saying these things because I could see it happen, right? To keep everyone, what's the word that's not fresh? To keep everyone going, right? To keep momentum going. Like Noah Juulsen just started playing really good. And because Soucy comes back, theoretically speaking, you're seeing no more Noah Juulsen in case of, unless there's an injury. But these guys, these coaches, these people in development understand that you probably want to ride the hot Juulsen. Let him learn about this style of play because he's way more calm. He's not looking scared out there. There was one point where I felt Ian Cole was scared to hit the ice every time he hit the ice with Noah Juulsen. That's how bad he was. But Surrey, man, the future lives there. And the future, I don't know, it looks bright for my guy. And Lefty with another one. Okay, this was an amazing stat that I heard after the game. Okay, I'm not sure if these four names, Bobby Orr, Dennis Potvin, Paul Coffey, Quinn Hughes, are all on this list. But I heard that Quinn Hughes is one of four defensemen, and definitely Bobby Orr is in this mix. But yeah, one of four defensemen to be at 50 points or more, be a plus 30, all while only playing the first 41 games of the season. This dude, historic. Quinn Hughes always brought up after every game compared to Bobby Orr. Think about that. Edmonton's got McDavid. We got Quinn Hughes. That goal he scored today was so funny and so sexy and so brilliant. So WTF. You know what I'm saying? Who does that? Maybe, just maybe, only McDavid. The agility. What's the word? The wherewithal. His hockey sense, his hockey IQ, his ability to be an assassin with elegance. He's on one. Quinn Hughes, Philip Roenick, playing great again. Again, this Vancouver Canucks team finding so many ways to win. And we could break down all the ways, but I think the best way to hone it in and to keep it simple is, I feel as if everyone is pulling their weight. Everyone is doing, again, the most for the Vancouver Canucks. Everyone is bought in. And that's a beautiful thing. Now, I want to say this, okay? Again, shout out to everyone watching this. One love, the Vancouver Canucks, bringing hope back into the city and into all the hearts of all the Canucks fans across the globe. It's beautiful, man. We're back. We're back, okay? But I got to say this. Let me know in the comments, because I don't see this happening, because, again, the Stanley Cup pedigree is there. This is different. I don't think this is just a team that's been hot for 41 games. They're going to be able to sustain this because of the leadership at the top. But, man, oh, man, are some of you concerned that they're peaking too early? Again, I'm not, but I feel as if that conversation is going to be out there. The trauma. I feel as if a lot of fans are still confused, and, you know, we lose one game or lose two games or lose 1.5 games, whatever that is, and we immediately go back to the past. I don't think that's the case here. And I brought up the leadership, but look at this guy, Zachary Kyle. One of his names over here. Probably one of the best names in the world. Zachary Kyle saying they got a couple more gears. And this runway, right? 41 games left. I think we've all seen it. We've heard the stats, right? The PDO, the regression. Oh, they're not taking enough shots, blah, blah, blah. Look, it could get annoying because they're getting the job done, but there's some proof to that. A lot of proof to that. But I feel as if you have the eye test down and you know the game and you understand the player type on this team, and again, we're talking about a lot of players on this team being all-stars, being superstars. If you're looking at the shot totals in the PDO, you're also able to see that, there's a cushion here. Again, the leadership is elite. They're going to find a way to get better. Not regress, get better. So I totally do believe that they have another couple gears, and they're going to need that if they want to make noise in the playoffs. How about Jimmy, man? Jimmy Canuck, bro. I see you commenting all the time. You my brother. Be happy, okay? Let's not worry about regression tonight, okay? Look at this. Hughes is a plus 30, and Makar is at plus 7. Makar, man. An unreal D, man. I know Quinn Hughes is out playing him this season, and I don't know. There was a time not too long ago where I felt as if Quinn Hughes was going to never be able to surpass Cale Makar at any point in his career, and that's only because I do really compare Cale Makar to Connor McDavid. Fast forward to 2024, now I'm comparing Quinn Hughes to Connor McDavid. The guy's on a mission. The guy's lethal, and there's something about, again, growing up in that family. The competitive nature is on another level, and he happens to be a captain. A captain for your Vancouver Canucks, man. He's the man, dude. What a choice. What a choice. What did Horvat do today? What's the stat sheet looking like for Bo Horvat? No Horvat. Boo Horvat. Hey, look, respectable dude, sure. Good guy. 420 points with the Vancouver Canucks. 420. You know how much I love that number. But come on, man. I remember what you said last year. You didn't have to say that. You should have called out Jim Bennett, not the fans. Anyways, I got a couple more minutes, okay? I'm only here doing overtime because it's game 41. We just played it. The Canucks are what? 27-11 and what? How is this the truth, too? Yo, look at this. If anyone talks ish about the Vancouver Canucks, tell them right now. This team is a team that's already won 27 games out of their first 41, and 26 of them have been in regulation. The Canucks, man. Beautiful, man. Go to the comments. No Horvat. It's the truth, man. It's the truth, man. I'm loving it. What else do we got here, okay? How about this, Angelo, man? Maybe 1 or 2 trades before the deadline. I'm not the hockey guy, okay? Trevor Begg's the hockey guy. He probably has a list of 40 guys the Canucks could trade for. And I'm over here thinking, you know what? Do the least, because I'm not willing to give up on the young talent, the Lekaramakis, the Willanders, another first-round pick. I'm not there yet. Maybe I'm slower in my pursuit of, I wouldn't say delusion, but again, that Stanley Cup expectation or that Stanley Cup demand. But as of right now, again, I'm okay with this team doing the least. A, because again, I'm a little weak, I'm a little soft. But B, because I feel as if this core deserves it. The Laffertys deserve it. The Dakota Joshuas deserve it. The Teddy Blugers deserve it. The Pius Suitors deserve it. The Noah Juulsens deserve it. Again, am I being soft? I know the sports business is a tough business, okay? No time to be soft. We got to chase rings. We got to put the right banners up in the building. But the Canucks have gone to this point, not, again, only because of their superstars. And dude, the depth is unreal across the board. Everyone is pulling their weight. Those guys deserve a chance, man, for real. And how are we not talking about this, man? Junior, man. I'm going to call my dog, my new puppy when I get one, Junior. Junior the pit bull. Junior the dog. If you don't know this, back in the day, they used to call me Canine Bowen. Anywho, Junior's talking about Casey DeSmith and Tyler Myers. Hey, I talked about Tyler Myers, man. That guy. If that guy saw me in the street, he would strangle me. He would mace me. Or kick me, okay? And that's okay, because I talked a lot of ish. And he is playing like a solid number 16 man, a really good one. And that was the problem with Myers for a long time, right? Just being asked to do way too much. But he is so well positioned in that spot. Again, not the perfect player, but able to lean on his characteristics to give us something different, all while not playing so much, because when he plays a lot, I don't know if this guy just turns into something. He crumbles. Don't give this guy more opportunity. Just give him the right amount. The right amount of Tyler Myers is really good as your number 6 D-man. Now, Casey DeSmith, we talked about the pro scouting, right? That's another guy. Alvin and Rutherford just got right before the season. Nobody saw that happening. Tanner Pearson out the window and a pick. This fan base, they don't want to see no picks being traded from this toolkit back in the day, a couple months ago. And there they were doing it again for a backup goaltender. When we already had Spencer Martin, maybe Silovs. Maybe somebody you could find on waivers. But again, they're trading assets to get this guy. And this guy is, again, one of those guys doing the most and pulling his version of the most weight. What an unbelievable pickup. You talk about this as well, right? Another guy that they may not be able to bring back. And look at the UFA list, and you examine it, and you understand, again, they're all pulling their weight. They're playing above value. Bruh, if that's the case and you can't bring everyone back, is this the season to go all in? And look, if they do it, if they trade a first-round pick or Lekaramakis, I'm not going to get mad. Okay, if they get rid of Lekaramakis, I'm not going to get mad. They've already proven me wrong many times. Prove me wrong again. I'm going to say, I don't think it's the right time. And what are they going to do? They're going to win the Stanley Cup. Let's win that Stanley Cup, man. Let's win that Stanley Cup. Anywho, I'm going to get out of here, okay? One love to everyone watching this. Go Canucks, go. I'm happy you're here. Shout out to all the people, man. We cheer for this team. We deserve it, man. We've been through a lot. Man. And this feels for real. One other thing I want us to do going into the second half, we got to take it one game at a time. We got to be humble. But we also can't be afraid of the Edmonton Oilers because it's going to happen, okay? I'm guaranteeing it. I know I've been wrong many times, but I do see a future in April where the Canucks and the Oilers are facing in the first round of the playoffs, and those guys are on a tear. They got the best player since Gretzky doing his thing, but don't be scared because it's different. It's different. Ended again on this note. How many Stanley Cups do we have in that building right now within the leadership? Like, how many Stanley Cups do those guys have? That's never, ever happened. Never, ever happened. But we haven't had that much pedigree, that much championship swagger in Vancouver surrounding your hockey team, and we have that right now. Anywho, hit the like button, subscribe if you enjoyed this. More post-game shows coming. I think so. Shout out to the Don't Doze Art Lab. They allowing us to do this. It's just the truth. We're not here without them. We also not here without the Locked On Podcast Network. Everyone hustling every day because it's your team every day. My name again, Kyle Bowen, KYLEBHAWAN. Have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good night. I don't know when you listen to this, but hey, we appreciate it. Go Canucks, go. One love. Peace.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Peace, peace, peace.